What would you say is the greatest lesson you've learned since you became a father, especially after three of them?
To be patient, understand that you may have a plan of what path your child should follow, but it's not your path. It's a path that was given to them. Sometimes they go against what you think they should be doing, but you have to give them grace. First 3 to 4 years, maybe even 5 of raising a child is probably the blueprint of what type of person they're going to be. Things happen and that person evolves. A lot of parents blame themselves, but it's not your fault. All you have to do is keep supporting them, keep telling them you love them. If you believe in them, they'll believe it. When they believe it, there's nothing that they can't do.
All right, y'all. So back in here in that episode of Indigo Podcast, and today I got my father, my dad here. We actually recorded this a while ago, but the footage got lost or something, so we're redoing it. So, because I really wanted him on here, but yeah, Dad, say hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello, family.
Nah,
How's it going? Life for Caden podcast.
Oh my gosh. Nah, seriously though, I have a couple questions for him. A lot of these are from the original, but I took a couple off because, like I said, Zoom cuts me off a lot because I don't have the premium. But anyway, I just want to get straight into it. The first question I got for you is, like, what was your childhood like growing up? Like, any key memories or key highlights, anything you took away from it?
My childhood was pretty dope. I had I'm the youngest of 5. My father had 2 children from a previous marriage and married my mother in 1961. And they had 3 children from that marriage, of course. My brother Kenneth, my sister Gretchen, and then me. I'm the youngest by a long shot.
Yeah.
My sister Gretchen, 10 years older than me. My brother Kenneth was 17 years older than me.
Wow. I ain't know that.
My sister Teresa was 25. My brother Joseph was 27 when I was born. So I had parents, and then I had sibling parents.
Yeah,
So
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, my mother was 38. My father was 49 when I was born.
Oh,
So I had a lot of personalities and a lot of guidance from all of them, music wise, life stuff. And they were going through a lot of growing pains because they were in high school and college when I was coming up. So they had a lot of experience on helping me navigate through my life because my parents were older. So there's a lot of things that they didn't do that they used to do with them. So I got an opportunity to do it with my siblings because they were, they were still in the thick of it. So it's kind of like, they're your siblings, but it's kind of like having an extra set of parents around because it's, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. This is what you should have did. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I got to see a lot of things with my sister. With her being in the '90s, she was a Rockets cheerleader, and I got an opportunity to spend a lot of time around the Rockets players and the facility. Well, back then, for those that don't know, because I know it's probably a lot of young people that listen to your podcast or watch it, but Lakewood Church used to be a sports arena. It was called the Summit, and that's where the Rockets played, and that's where all of the big concerts were with that in the Sam Houston Coliseum. So that's where the Rockets used to play in the Summit. They didn't play at Toyota Center. They played at the Summit, which is now Lakewood Church. So we spent a lot of time over there in Westside Tennis Club, and I had other friends that once you hang around that type of atmosphere, you start meeting some other players from different sports. So I got opportunity to hang around a lot of the oldest players and a lot of the Rockets players. And I was very young. My sister was she didn't really hang around a lot of people. So when she would go to some of those parties, I was too young to be there, but I people couldn't tell because of how I act.
Hmm.
And she would ask me to come along with her. People always thought that I was older than I really was because none of that stuff just phased me.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because, well, I mean, on my mom's side, I'm obviously an only child, so I never really got to experience that on her side. But on your side, I'm the youngest, so I mean, well, how old was Kaylee and Kyle when I was born? If y'all don't know, Kaylee and Kyle is my brother and sister, but like, how old were they when I was born? I was born in '07, so
Kaylee, Kaylee was 11
yeah.
and Kyle was 9.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah, 96, May 97. Yeah. Kaylee was 11, Kyle was 9.
Okay. Yeah, like, how was it like when you had kids? Like, I don't know, like how is it different? Like, because you took everything you learned from like, your parents and like your older siblings. So like, how was it like when you had me? Well, not me first, obviously, but Kaylee, Kyle, then me. Like, how was that experience?
It was very difficult because Kaylee was born when I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
18 years old, you don't know anything
Yeah.
because life really hasn't hit you. Not, I take that back. You have some people, they have to grow up fast because they might lose a parent at an early age or they might have to experience trauma at an early age. But average, 18, you don't know anything. I finished high school when I was 17.
Yeah.
I was already in college. I was at Texas Southern at 17.
Mm.
So Kaylee was born when I was 18 and I was trying to play football. I was trying to walk on and I made a decision that I needed to get a job because I was having a daughter. And it's very tough because you don't know anything. You got a child. So you're basically raising your child while you're being raised.
Yeah.
And that's a funny thing because you're still trying to grow and have fun and go to parties and go do stuff and some things I couldn't go to because my mother and father would or their grandparents would kind of assist and help out with some things, but my mom was like, hey, sometimes you gotta gotta help raise your kids, man. I didn't have them, you did.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very difficult. It can be done, but it was very hard because there was a lot of times where the growing pains that they were having, I was having my growing pains too.
Mm.
When you were born, it was a little different because I'd already done it 2 times. It was just difficult because I didn't have the opportunity. Well, we didn't have the opportunity in the beginning to spend that much time with each other like I wanted to. So it just I'm glad and very grateful that we got to the point where we are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very difficult because uh, I could have access to Kaylee and Kyle whenever I wanted to. I was like, hey, I'm gonna come pick them up. Can I come get them? Or it's my weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that's the only thing that was different. But I had to adjust. And then again, 30 years old, you're an adult, you're grown, but you still are learning.
Yeah.
So so I apologize to your brother and sister now, and they laugh because I'm like, hey, I didn't know anything. I was learning too. So,
Yeah.
but now the wisdom that I've gained over the time, and then at my age now, I'm able to help and assist everybody because I still know I still know what's going on because I still
Hmm.
have my ear to the street, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just realized how young you were when you had Kaylee and Kyle because obviously you said when I was born, Kaylee was 11 and Kyle's that's a 2 year difference. So
Yeah, Kaylee, well,
yeah.
18, 18, 17 months actually. Kaylee was born, I was 18, and Kyle was born 1 month before I turned 20. So I was actually 19.
Oh
17, 17 months.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 17 months.
Yeah. But back to your childhood though, like what would you say is your favorite memory? Like it could be when you were like kind of younger or like, teenage year, or like, what would you say is your favorite?
The time of the year right now, summertime, we used to have a blast. I mean, we would get up 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. We would go outside. We play basketball. We play two square. We play four square. We would play dodgeball, football, tackle in the grass, touch on the street.
Yeah.
Uh, we we would stay outside all day. We play basketball all day, and I mean, it's funny now because I step outside for 5 minutes. I'm like, oh gosh, it's hot. How did I do this when I was younger? But
For
and
real.
so some people will joke and be like, this is not the same type of heat. Yes, it was. It was the same type of heat, and it just I miss that because you having fun. You don't have any bills. You don't have school. You can stay up as late as you want. I mean, that's it's just
Yeah.
it's not that I don't appreciate what type of life I have now, but it's just that
It's
being
different.
young, man,
It's different.
being young and being young and enjoying your youth while being that young when you got it is cool because it's nothing better because you get to have so much fun and just being a kid, just doing kid stuff, not trying to push the envelope and do all the stuff you're not supposed to do, just mischievous stuff and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Um, yeah, I agree. Like it's always just been hot, like in Texas. Like to be honest, like it's just always been humid. Like it's pretty similar. But yeah, like I'll step out like anytime after like I don't know, like 10 is just blazing hot. Like it just be burning alive. But I can't really think of my favorite childhood memory. I'm trying to think. We did a lot of stuff. Like I have I mean we went to that Rockets game. That was cool. But it was like it was a while ago though, because we went to one recently with Gretchen and them, but that was like a year or two ago. But I can't really put my finger on one right now. Anyway, because I'm rambling on that. Anyway, next thing, because I know you did track. Obviously, I did track like
Oh,
later.
but one, sorry, not to cut you off.
Nah,
One more
what's up?
thing.
What's up?
Astro World.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
In the summertime, we would go to Astro World and they had the Slurpees that would it was kind of like it was a cable car that would be off the ground and it would carry you across the park and you had the funny the T model cars and you would drive those and that's probably how we learned how to drive then. You had rides, the Loop Starship. So we would get season passes. So you had Astroworld and you had Hanna-Barbera Land at the time. Hanna-Barbera Land is the property that Typhoon, Texas sits. Not Typhoon, Texas. Hurricane Harbor. Hurricane Harbor, the property that sits on used to be Hanna-Barbera Land. And so those are the two theme parks that you had. So we had season pass at Astroworld, man. We would have so
yeah.
yeah.
How'd you feel when they got shut down? Because I know like why did they even get shut down? I kind of forgot.
Operating costs,
Oh, okay.
things money gets tight with certain things like entertainment issues and amusement parks and I think they kind of wanted to push more of Six Flags and Fiesta Texas because you had Six Flags over Texas in Arlington and then you had Fiesta Texas in San Antonio but you had Astroworld in Houston and everybody would be in Houston they wouldn't go to the other amusement parks. So maybe it was a decision being made to drive more funds to those amusement parks because I think they were having issues uh, operating.
Yeah.
But if it was still open, man, I would still go because
Yeah.
man, we it was always fun. Yeah, your brother and your sister, they were little, but yeah, we took them. We took them to Ash World and yeah, Water World.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't really gone to the only amusement park I went to for real what's the name of it? It was in Orlando. Is it I can't think of it. I know you know the
Universal,
name. Yeah, Universal.
Universal
And it
Studios,
was this one ride. I know you know what I'm about to talk about. It's the rock and
the
roll
the
ride.
the
Yeah,
rock and roll.
yeah. So basically to put it in perspective, you're going up, but like I'm not facing upright. I'm facing like this. Like just imagine a chair is like you can see like the bottom of the chair and they're going upward. So that's how you start. And then you get to this peak and it slows down and it just shroom. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. I feel my guts go to my like to the floor. I'm like, yo, I'm about to die. I'm done. And then like I think I
the,
was
the the
yeah.
the funniest thing about that, and I want to tell your audience that that was the first time you ever, well, I mean, the first day
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you ever rode a roller coaster because I had to kind of get you started. So we rode the Mummy first, and the Mummy was kind of, it was a cool roller coaster, but it was just twists and turns, and it went backwards, and it went this way, and it went that way, and it was dark inside. But
Yeah.
the rock and roller, that was a real roller coaster. If anybody that's watching this, if you ever remember the Ultra Twister, if that ride was a cross between the Ultra Twister and the Texas Cyclone, but times two. It was
Yeah.
very interesting.
It was
It was
wild.
very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, we doubled back on the mummy though, because the first time I ain't gonna lie, I shivered my boots, but the second time it was actually very fun. Like I think you remember, I was like having a lot of fun. I was like, oh, this is kind of dope.
yeah,
But
yeah. That's one of the best memories I had. Especially that was our first family trip, meaning uh, your, your, all your all of you guys with me.
yeah,
The first family trip that we had, and won't be the last, but that was the very first one. And your first flight, your first roller coaster ride, the first time you had been at home from away from home from your mom for some period of time. So I know it's kind of, even though you were with me, I know it was kind of difficult to be at home for your mom for those 3 or 4 days. But the look, I remember we were you didn't know, but you guys were walking in front of me, and right before that parade started, when we went to meet the Uber driver to go home, the three of you were walking ahead of me, and I was looking at the three of y'all walking, and I just looked up in the sky. I just thank God that I had the opportunity to have you guys all together with me for a family trip because that was very important.
yeah. Nah, I'm already know. We talked about that before, but yeah, I think
Yeah,
yeah, that was one of my favorite memories of all time. Like just the hotel. Uh, I remember we went to like this one spot. This one dude was trying to sell you some, but you weren't going for it. I don't know if you remember. I don't know where it was, but it was like
it was over there when we walked across the street when we went to the Rainforest Cafe. It
yeah.
was a guy. It was a guy in the courtyard.
Yeah, 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 the courtyard, yeah, yeah. But Rainforest Cafe,
Trying to,
I don't know if I was starving, but it was so good. Oh my gosh. I remember exactly what we got. Because that's when you put me on the what is it, medium well or is it medium rare?
meet him well.
Yeah, because I always used to get well done. Obviously, I don't eat steak now, but when I did, like all I knew was well done. Like, because we went to a steakhouse, my grandma was like, "Get well done." I was like, "Okay," but no, I think my mom told me either one. But
Boo!
I learned the hard way. I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's not the move. If you eat steak, get medium well. Was it medium well, medium rare?" So,
Medium, medium or medium well.
yeah, what the
You
man
can't
said. Yeah,
you can't lose. If you get well done, we can't be friends. You cook all the
no,
juices out of your steak. You might as well eat cardboard or chicken strips or
not literally. Now you
something.
changed my life with that one. But I was gonna talk about track, but I ain't gonna lie. since I'm limited on Zoom, I want to get to this because I ain't gonna lie, I think this is like a big segment that I really want to know.
We talk about track briefly.
I got you.
All
All
right,
right.
so
Yeah,
we talk
yeah,
about track for 1 minute. So track. So how I got so watching the Olympics when I was very young, and I had friends that were older than me, 2 years, 4 years older than me. So the older guys would be outside racing,
yeah,
and that was the thing. Hey man, line up. Let's see who the fastest is. Line up. So I would race and wouldn't beat them, but I would be in the pack.
yeah,
And they was like, man, you fast. And so as time went on and I got older, I started winning. Yeah.
yeah. That's how
So,
it
I started
goes.
playing football and all of that stuff. And I ran track in middle school and high school. And I was pretty good. I went to state a couple times. I didn't win, but I placed fourth one year in 1993. I placed fourth. And to be the fourth best runner out of nine in the state at your division, I think that's pretty dope.
Now, especially in
And
Texas too, they be rolling in Texas.
yeah, I didn't win, but I I was in the top nine. So
That's a good. What
hey,
race was that? Was that hurdles?
out of 100.
Okay, I figured. I knew it was either that or the 100. A quick question though, before we move on, because yeah, we want to keep it brief. But how'd you feel when I told you I wanted to do track? Like, how'd you feel about that? And then especially now with like with long distance.
I felt really good about it. I didn't care if you were fast or if what I didn't care what you ran. It's just something about competing. Track, you're not really running against the other person. You are in some cases, especially when you're a sprinter, but for the most part, you know as well, you're running against time.
Facts, yeah.
And if you can beat your time consistently, do better and do better and do better, it it lets you know that progress is being made. Now the
Facts,
only
yeah.
thing is that I try to tell people because I did it for years after track, but at some point I had a point where I stopped doing it. But if you run a mile a day, you're gonna be you're gonna put yourself in a whole different category of health for the rest of your life if you run a mile a day every day for the rest of your life. Some people do more. Some people do it for a year or two after school and then they stop and then they don't understand where the weight comes from because life starts happening and then you stop running and you look up and then you gain weight and you got all kind of stuff going on. But for anybody that's out here listening, if you like to run, if you don't like running, run a mile a day. If you can run a mile a day, it'll help your health issues the older you
Yeah, even just walking, like some type of movement,
get.
like
Even
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 just
walk.
walking, like, cause you know, like honestly, I run a lot. Obviously, I'm a like running fanatic, but at the same time, like I'm a firm believer in just getting steps in. You know what I'm saying? Like even just moving around. Like if you like, I don't know, your legs messed up or hopping on the bike, but like that's why I started doing a mile cooldown after every workout because I think that's why I got into the long distance stuff just naturally because I would always do that when kids would just do like a lap. I'd do a full mile just because you were like, hey, do your little mile cooldown because that's what you'd make me do and used to help me work out like we'd do the 600s or whatever. But
Right.
getting away from track though, music obviously because I mean look at your background. Come on, like he likes music obviously. So who's your favorite artist of all time and who's like some quick honorable mentions you want to add on to that? But like if you can't narrow it down to one, like maybe a top three.
Very difficult. I've
Nah,
heard so much.
yeah, I'm
I've
already
heard
knowing.
much. Yeah, I've heard so much. So in no particular order, uh, Ice Cube, uh, LL Cool J, MF Doom, Big Daddy Kane, Kendrick Lamar, Jay Z. It's so many. It's so many. It's so many, man. I mean, if you want to talk about groups, Outkast, UGK,
Yeah.
Wu Tang Clan, Um, Golly, man, this I've heard so much. I've heard so much music over this. So I mean, you got to go back. You got to go back to. And I was born in '77, so
Yeah.
80, 81, 82, 83. I mean, when rap first started getting big, 86, 87. So you had. So I'm gonna just go through different eras. So you had Kid and Play. You had well, LL been around since then. LL, Public Enemy, uh, Slick Rick, Master Ace. And this is even before Ghetto Boys and NWA. I mean, you had Kwame. I mean, it's it's so much music, man.
Yeah. And
Then you had then you
this is
had
just rap too.
yeah, this is just '80s. Then you had the '90s. Then we ain't even talking about Michael Jackson and Prince and Loose Ends and SOS Band and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, all that stuff that they wrote, Babyface, East West. I mean, you had man, I was on all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm already
Yeah,
knowing.
dude. So with my dad, that's where I got all the jazz from. The jazz and uh mainly jazz, the old stuff, Crusaders, Stanley Turrentine, uh Ronnie Laws, Bobby Bland, B.B. King. So my dad was jazz and blues. My mom was kind of the rock and roll, the old stuff, the Chuck Berry and Fats Domino, Twisted Shout, Chubby Checkers, the old stuff. But my brother Ken, that was all the rock and the rap, and then with my sister, it was all the pop and the R&B. And so I'd be in the car riding with all of them at some point, and then you would hear that different music. So I listen to everything. I listen to rock, I listen to pop, I listen to blues, gospel, and so I knew I was listening to everything. And I
Yeah.
got it from all of them. And then I kind of, as I got older, I kind of got my own identity. And then I started dipping and dabbling with music. Some of my friends around the neighborhood, and I had a couple albums. It was I had I was out there. It wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Although I love the music, it just it it didn't work, and I was mad at the time because I wanted it to work, but I'm
Hmm.
glad it did because I wouldn't be the person I am now.
True.
But I have no problem at all standing in front of a room of people or walking in the room of people and introducing myself or talking to a room of people to motivate them and tell them something that they might need, and that might be a direct result of being in the studio and making music.
Yeah.
It was preparing me. It was preparing me for those things that I did today. So it's two things that's important in this world in your life: is when you're born and when you find out why. Those are two most important things.
Yeah.
So I have, I have, I have a great purpose now because I know that that's the direction I'm heading in. So me not being successful in music, I have zero problem with that because it set me up where I am
Yeah. It just happened the way it's supposed to, you know?
now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, about music though, more about that. Like, obviously, I know since you've listened to so you have like a heavy catalog of stuff you listen to, like just the honorable, like some notable albums like you listen to, like throughout your, it can be rock, pop, whatever, that just kind of caught you. You're like, okay, that stuck with me. Like, not necessarily like a top five, but just a few. Like, okay, like that's a really good album.
Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
You think that's his best album?
I had people might say Thriller,
Yeah.
but go back and listen to Off the Wall. Off the Wall is the better album to
Okay.
me, my opinion. Although I like Thriller, I like Bad too, and I like Dangerous, but Off the Wall. And you can play that, you can start to finish. All of those albums, all of those songs were singles,
Mm,
maybe except one of them. They were all singles. Uh, Purple Rain by Prince. Prince's Purple Rain. You can play that album from start to finish.
yeah,
Uh, Sade, Promise.
I never heard
You
that
can play
one.
that album from you can play that album from start to finish.
What do you think about
Uh,
Love Deluxe though?
Love Deluxe is yeah, yeah. Love Deluxe, Love Deluxe. Promise is a great album. Love Deluxe is probably that second one. Diamond Life was good. I mean, Sade was. And people they don't know. Sade is not Sade a dude that it's Sade is the band's name.
Yeah, it's a band. I didn't know
The
that.
band name is Sade.
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
So, um, hip hop albums. Death Certificate is one of the greatest albums. Ice Cube's Death Certificate is one of the
Mm,
greatest albums ever. Uh, Notorious B.I.G. Ready to Die.
yeah.
Um, Scarface, The Diary,
Mm.
Tupac, and it's not All Eyes on Me
What
like
was it me?
everybody
What
else
is it? Me
says.
against the world?
It's Me Against the World.
I agree, to be honest. I agree. I listened to it. The funny thing is, I listened to it start to finish when I was cleaning on Wednesday. I'm like,
Yeah,
I like it more than All Eyes on Me because the thing is with me, I don't know. All Eyes on Me is just too much at once. I mean, it's a double album. I mean, duh, but it was just a lot at once, like a lot. But
yeah,
however, Ambitions as a writer is a better first. Like, that's the best intro I've ever heard in my life, in my opinion. I haven't heard that much music as you, but in my opinion, like at least rap. Like that's better than the intro.
yeah,
I mean, the intro of Me Against the World is just intro. Like, it's just like I think it's like a TV publisher is like commenting on him. So it's not really a comparison, but that's my
yeah.
opinion on that. But anyway, continue.
Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt is a classic album, but I really like the the Kingdom Come. I'm sorry, the Life and Times of Sean Carter Volume 2 is one of my favorites. But Reasonable Doubt is without question the classic. And Jeezy, Thug Motivation 101. That's one of my favorite albums, man.
I've never heard that
When he
album.
came, yeah, when he came out, yeah, it's a funny story about the Jeezy album. So this is 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2005. So he comes out with the album, and I was still a young fella, and we were at we were at a gentleman's club. We were at a gentleman's club, and the DJ started the album and walked away from the booth and let the whole album play in the club. And we sat there and we jammed the whole album. Like normally, DJ would play a song, move to another. He
Yeah.
just walked off. That's the kind of album the Thug Motivation 101 was. It was great.
Yeah.
Uh, Outkast, Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music.
What do you think about Aquemini?
Aquemini. Actually, my favorite Outkast album is Thank Only,
Oh, for real?
but Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music is is the classic album because it's what got other than So Def at the time. That's what got Atlanta started
True.
as a whole because people were people were coming out spots here and there, but when they came out and the Goody Mob was on there and it just sparked a movement. But
Yeah.
Humanize is because the song that everybody played is the damn James. nobody even knows the name of the song. It's called Spody Odie Doublelicious.
Yeah, yeah,
But everybody was like, hey, man, put that damn James on. Yeah, nobody knew the name of the song. It was like, man,
yeah,
what's the name? They disagree with me about Wu Tang. Uh, I really like the W album. It's not the W album is one of the greatest albums, but Enter the 36 Chambers, of course, we know is a classic.
yeah.
Method Man's to Cal, Red Man's There's a Dark Side, or What the Album. I say What the Album. Heavy D, Peaceful Journey, great album. Um, Nas Illmatic, and, uh, DOC, No One Can Do It Better.
Mm.
Um, Above the Law, Uncle Sam's Curse.
Yeah, now you're starting to get into territory I've never heard of. I ain't gonna lie, the last three I'm
Yeah,
like, I never
yes,
heard of that.
yeah, yes. Compton's Most Wanted. Music to Drive By. Uh, yeah, man, it's a lot of music. Yeah, it's a lot of
It's a lot,
music.
it's a lot. Yeah. What about like I guess newer age artists, like I guess like well, this is another album I wanted to ask you about because you mentioned Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z. Like how do you feel about 444 by Jay-Z? Because honestly, out of everything I've heard, that's like my favorite one.
I think it's a good album. I think it's a good album. It's just that body of work that I heard from Jay Z over all of the time frame. If someone asked me, we already know that Reasonable Doubt is a classic album, so we don't go there. So we start talking about other albums.
Like
So
Blueprint and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, I would say it just me personally, the Life and Times of Sean Carter Volume 2 or the Black Album uh, is pro- probably the one asked me.
Okay. Okay. But the other question I was gonna ask, other than that, because honestly, that's my favorite Jay-Z album. I haven't listened to the Black Album in its entirety, so that might change because I've heard that's his best. A lot of people say either it's between really three. Well, I guess four. People often say it's either 444 or the Black Album or Blueprint or Reasonable Doubt. I like Reasonable Doubt a lot, to be honest. I think it's better than Blueprint in my opinion. But anyway, the other question, like I guess newer artists, like so you mentioned Kendrick earlier, like J. Cole, like people like that. Like what like some albums like of newer people that like you like.
Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Section 80. I like Good Kid, Mad City, but To Pimp a Butterfly was a musical album, and it was great for me. Uh, J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive.
Yeah.
Um, um, Missing somebody.
Maybe like
Oh,
Freddie. Yeah.
Ken,
You said
Dom Kennedy. Dom
oh, okay.
Kennedy.
Yeah.
Uh, this album wasn't one of his real albums, so to speak. It was one of his mixtapes, but that Yellow album, yeah, man, I wore that Yellow album,
Yeah.
and I also like the Get On Safe. I mean, I like a lot of his albums, but I mean, as far as favorites, the Yellow album and Get On Safe, man.
I
Um,
need to get on that then.
so Nipsey Hussle had the the Crenshaw album.
Hmm.
That's one of my favorite albums from him. Um, uh, Currency, probably top first one. Stone Immaculate. Um, Little Brother, The Minstrel Show is classic.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, Freddie Gibbs.
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs. The Pinata album is one of my favorite albums.
How do you feel about Alfredo? Have you heard that
I
one?
like it, but
You
I
like
like
it?
it, it's either it's Bandana. No, You Only Live Twice.
Yeah.
You Only Live Twice, Pinata. Pinata album was
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard good. Honestly, when they talk, a lot of people talk about Freddie. It's like between three. Like I'd probably say Bandana. Not for me. I'm saying what I've heard. Bandana, Pinata, or what's the third one? Alfredo. Because Alchemist obviously produced Alfredo, and I think Pinata was Madlib. Was it Madlib or was it somebody else?
Pinata was Madlib.
Okay, yeah, because I know they did it with
Pinata and Bandana was Madlib.
Yeah, yeah, I like those albums a lot. I need to get more like I need to listen to Pinata like all the way through, but I really like Bandana. But we could talk about music all day because I remember there is this like it's like this all it was this weird. It's not because it's not even an artist. Like I think he's a DJ. You remember SG Lewis? You put me on to him a while ago, and like pretty much it was this one song. I think it's not called Warm. I think that's a different song. But it's like this girl's voice, but it was pitched down. So I thought it was a dude.
That's
But
one. That's warm.
yeah, yeah, I got
Yeah, that's warm. It's the artist. It's an artist named Ray,
yeah,
and it's her voice pitched down.
yeah. Because the whole time I
And a
thought,
lot of
yeah,
a lot of people thought it was a guy, but it's a female just with pitch down.
yeah, that song just I don't know, it's really nostalgic. Like it reminds me like it was cold, like you'd be driving at night and you'd be playing it. I'm like, yo, this song's really cool. Then obviously you put me on to a lot of music, but like obviously Electric Feel, like that's like if I had to pick a song that defines me and your relationship, I'm picking that song. Like cause I've held that song with me like forever. Like literally like I still listen like it's literally in my playlist now. Like I listen to it at the gym every now and then. Like I literally remember
Yeah,
yeah. I remember the first time he showed me that song, I was like, yo, what? Yo, this is wild.
I like music, man. If the artist doesn't matter. If it's jamming, I like it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So I listen to anything because I feel like in every genre of music, I probably could find one artist that I like.
not for sure. Yeah. I think one person obviously is a little bit interesting now to say the least, but obviously has a heavy catalog. Like, what's your favorite Kanye album? 'Cause, I mean, I think Kanye is like a big point of contention in like rap.
My favorite Kanye album. Hmm. Graduation.
Graduation. Why is it graduation?
Nah, nah, nah. Wait till I get my money right.
Because I
Yeah,
heard that.
you had the good life, you had
Yeah.
flashing lights. Yeah.
Oh, tell me about Flashing Lights. That's so like that's one of like the most nostalgic songs I've ever heard because that song is in GTA 4, and I used to like be
Hmm.
driving around with that, and I'm like, what album is this song on? Like I never knew until I got older. I'm like, oh, Graduation. But like back then, like playing it, I was like, this song is like really good. But I think my favorite, I think it's Late Registration from what I've heard. To be honest, I don't know, I really like the album, but I like obviously I like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's a good album, but I feel like it kind of dips a little bit in the back half. I don't know if that's a hot take, but that's just me. I like Donda is cool. I didn't listen to the whole thing because it's like 20 some songs, so didn't listen to that. But yeah, I mean, what's your favorite song off of Graduation?
Good life.
Good Life. Okay, that's a good pick. I think my favorite's probably Flashing Lights or probably Flashing Lights. I don't know. It carries a lot of weight for me in terms of memories. So yeah, I had to pick that. But anyway, this is kind of going away from music, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty good question. But what would you say is the greatest lesson you learned since you became a father, especially after three of them, me, Kaylee, and Kyle? Like, what do you say is the greatest lesson you've learned?
To be patient, um, understand that you may have a you may have a plan of what path your child should follow, but it's not your path. It's a path that was given to them for them to walk. Sometimes, sometimes they go against what you think they should be doing, but you have to give them grace and let them find their way back. Because if you first 3 to 4 years, maybe even five of raising a child is probably the blueprint of what type of person they're going to be.
Mm,
Now, things happen and that person evolves and they come into their own, so to speak. But as a parent, don't beat yourself up if your kid ain't doing what you think they should be doing. It's
mm,
a lot of parents blame themselves, but it's not your fault. All you have to do is keep supporting them, keep telling them you love them, and speak positives into them at all times. And when if you believe in them, they'll believe it. When they believe it, there's nothing that they can't do because it's very important for that person to hear from their own parents.
mm,
So that's what I learned because I used to, oh, you ain't gonna be able to do this or do that, but don't govern who that person might become.
yeah,
Support them. And even if you might not agree with it, always be positive and support them.
yeah,
And most of the time, they always find their way back to what they're supposed to be doing anyway.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's very good advice. I think that I don't know if you agree, but I think that just applies to like just people you talk to in life too. Cause like I've realized this the hard way that like it like because I made a whole short about this, like a whole like video, like it was like a short from a podcast I made. I was saying like how like I don't know if this goes along with what you're saying. If it does, like you can add on to, it, but like it doesn't matter what path you take or whatever you do. Like you said, like you might not agree with it with what your child's doing. Like it's always gonna be someone that's like, oh, I don't like that, or oh, I don't agree with that. And some people might be put off by that, like, oh, am I wrong? But in reality, you might just be different. You might see it differently. Like, what do you think about that? Like, just in general.
The path that I have for you is not your path. Your path is what you believe in and what you feel like that God has told you to do. Like I said, if you feel like that God has told you that your purpose is to do something different than what I think, it's a common attraction of what you saw from God. I didn't see it because if it was my vision, then I would have seen it. It's
True.
your vision. So when you tell me this is what I want to do, I'm going to support that till you make it or you decide you want to do something else. The only thing that I would suggest is do the right thing when it's hard. Always strive to do better, and don't look at a failure as a stopping point. Look at a failure. Look as a failure as growth.
Yeah.
You grow when things are uncomfortable. If everything is easy, you have no growth. If you're the most intelligent friend in your circle, then you need some new friends. Your net worth is your network is your net worth. So if you hang around six broke people, then you will be the seventh broke.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you want to attain, surround yourselves around those people that's trying to attain the same thing that you are, and you get what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, for me
Not
personally,
right,
like, yeah,
not right away, but it does happen.
yeah, delayed gratification. Like, that's another thing too. Like, we could talk about that for a little bit. Like, I think a perfect analogy for this, just for me, because I run a lot, is just when people start working out or training, like the whole New Year's resolution thing, and they start and they're like, "Oh, I haven't lost 10 pounds yet. It's only been a week." You know what I'm saying? And they want to lose that 10 pounds in a day, but like, it doesn't really work like that. Because if it did work like that, it'd be unsustainable, and you wouldn't stick with it. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people fall off of their diet or fall off of their fitness regimen because they're trying to do something and they're not realizing that, oh, I can't be greatness doesn't happen in a day. It takes consistency over a long period of time, which I'm sure you're aware of, but a lot of people just, they're not aware of that. But yeah, that was a little tangent we went on, but yeah, I mean, I just think all of that kind of comes together because I think, like, you being a dad, I feel like that goes into other areas of your life, like how you treat us and then how you treat other people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you never know, you never know who knows who. That's why you got to treat people right because you never know who's who, and it's just you might do something for somebody and don't even think anything about it, and the blessings always come back in some other form. Sometimes it might not come back directly to me. It might come back to one of you guys.
Yeah.
You know, your father did this for me, so I'm doing this for you. I mean, it's a legacy that I'm leaving for you guys. That when you hear somebody speak of your father, that is great. It's not anything that might be derogatory or crass or vulgar. So yeah, yeah, I feel like that's important.
Yeah, I got you. And I was just drinking water, but nah, what you said, I think that makes a lot of sense. But next thing, we're starting to kind of close up here, but like, what do you think is the greatest asset anyone can have in life? Like, this could be a mental thing, a physical thing. I'm not, just in general.
Wisdom, because if you have wisdom and love, if you have those two things, usually all the rest of the stuff ain't that far behind.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything to add on to that because you said it. Like, would you say that? I think a good question to add on to that. Would you say that community kind of falls like it's kind of like a subsector of love? Like, you know what I mean? Like just a group of people that like are unwavering, like not they're like ruthless in their pursuit to support you. You know what I mean? Like, would you say that kind of goes with that?
Yeah, you have to find people that are thinkers, people that are doers and believers. And if they're not in your family, then so be it. You have to find out where they are. Sometimes sometimes the people that are the biggest toxins for you are in your own house.
So, yeah,
And I don't and it just it's you can't pick your family, but you can pick the people that you want to be around. So it's not
hmm
an if you don't if you don't like what's in your house or what's in your circle, then find your circle. Create your circle. Because you have to believe and you have to continue to uh, get with great minds because there's no way possible that any person can get anything done or accomplish anything that they want on their own. You need a group, you need a circle, you need others that have been that way already, or people that believe in you and want to walk that way with you. And those are the people that you form your team with, so to speak.
yeah, okay,
And those that speak against you and don't support you, love them. care for them, but just keep them at a, you know,
At a
at a
distance.
distance
Yeah,
because
at a
yeah, because
distance.
they yeah, because sometimes they don't even know why they're doing the things they're doing because that's all they know. Some people were raised on love, some people were raised on survival. So
Mm,
you until you find out who those people are, and like I said, they might be in your own house. But if not, um, find those people that will support you in that team that uh, wants to see you advance, and you
yeah.
want to see them advance, and clap when they make it, because usually when your circle when somebody in your circle does something, probably the next man up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, like I would say junior, even like the beginning of senior year, like I always thought, because I liked how you said like, you like like you said along the lines like to achieve greatness, like you have to be together, like in a unit with other people, like minded. And I always thought, oh, it just has to be me. Like it just has to be me doing everything. In reality, I was like, yeah, no. Like, because the thing is, I just realized when I started, popping out and like showing people, hey, just documenting what I do. It kind of built a collective of people like, oh, we're supporting you. And I was like, oh, okay. Because before that, I mean, it was just me kind of behind the scenes just doing stuff. I was like, oh, I just got to do it by myself. But just from what you told me, like, building networks of people and, just being kind, just being just a good human being, how that can compound over time and people just start trusting you with things, and I've really seen that like now, me just consistently doing things, just being myself, and just people like being like, okay, I
Right.
support you, like that's cool. And I was like, oh, because just a lot of stuff I've learned that Papa told me, you told me, I'm like, now I see it. You know what I mean? It just takes time to show itself. But last thing I got here, I kind of always ask people this, kind of something along the lines of this, but what would you say is the greatest lesson you've learned throughout your entire life? Like just everything included, like what would you say is like the greatest, most impactful thing you've learned?
Always be a student.
Okay.
You never know. You're never gonna know everything, and you always have to be continue to be a student. Always get new skills. Always advance. Train your mind to never stop learning.
Yeah. Is there
Yeah.
to add on to that, maybe like any quotes you've heard? Because I think one quote that stands out to me. I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's like a Bruce Lee quote. I'm stuttering there, but it's like absorb what is useful, discard was not. Like I don't know. I just think that's really important in today's climate because there's so much information. So like, especially like with nutrition, like because people don't know what to decipher what is what. But anyway, like just to segue off of that, like, is there any like quotes that like you've heard from just people or maybe like famous people that you're like, oh, okay,
Alexander McLeish. The best thing about a man is his mind. Anything else you can find in a pig or a horse.
what did he mean by that?
A man can think anything. Man can do anything as a man think it. As long as you think it and you believe it, you can be a pig or a horse that can't think like that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, I guess before we close it off, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we close off? Just any other, you know, closing segments?
Thanks for having me, son. I'm grateful. Uh,
Yeah.
great talk. Great. It's always good to talk to you. It's awesome that you want me to be on your podcast and share with your listeners where you come from. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, nah, of course I had, cause I mean, I ain't gonna lie. The first go around, it was such a good convo. Like this is a very good convo too. It was up to standard with the first one, but it was just the fact that I got lost. I'm like, and I just really wanted you on here. I'm like, I can't go out like that. So I was like, okay, let's just spin it, spin it, spin it, spin again, and then redo it. So now I'll have all the footage. So no lost footage here. We're good. So, but yeah, I
Yeah, but
appreciate.
I
Yeah,
really I appreciate that.
nah, for sure. I had to. I mean, you're
Very,
my
very, very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, you're my dad. I had to. But anyway, we're not getting cut off this time because we started a whole nother recording, so we're not getting cut off Zoom. You're losing today. So anyway, seriously though,
Retwist and haircut Wednesday, right?
yeah. If y'all didn't know, yeah, my cousin Kennedy, shout out to Kennedy if you're watching this or listening. She does my hair. So next time you see me, I should have a retwist. And then Friday we're gonna pop fireworks for the fourth, which would be cool. So what shop are we going to? Is there like because I know we went to that one it was like it's like it looks like a cannon. You know what I'm talking about? We went to that one year. Yeah, I don't know. Probably like one of
Um,
those ones by a gas station or something. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, little side tangent about fireworks, but hopefully y'all enjoy fireworks if y'all pop them. Anyway, seriously though, uh I'm gonna just end the episode here. Thank y'all for listening, watching, whatever y'all do. Thank my dad for hopping on, talking about music and a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, that was the episode, and I'll see y'all next Wednesday.